This is the Heart of LAFC podcast, episode 98.
The City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, here are your hosts, Jerry Jimenez and Josef Recap.
What is up? Welcome to the Heart of LAFC podcast. My name is Jerry Jimenez, your host, your friend, your insider into the Los Angeles Football Club. Thank you for joining Joseph and I for episode 98 of the Heart of LAFC. Mr. Josef Recap, how are you, sir?
Good evening, Jerry. How are you doing tonight? I'm doing good. Getting ready for rivalry week.
Awesome. Yeah. No, I think we're all really excited to get this going. But we can't get to that point before we talk about obviously this awesome game. I don't think anybody was really expecting LAFC to come out the way that they did. I think we expected the changes, right? We expected to see the lineup changes. I don't think we expected a 3-1 lineup, though. That was quite a scoreline, and we'll get into it and explain how we got there. First of all, I wanted to give Joseph some props here because the title of today's show is 99 Problems for Houston, right? And 99 problems and Dio is one. In case you guys didn't understand that one, Dio wears 99. I thought it was pretty genius, Joseph. So good job on that one, man.
Thank you.
All right. So, you ready to get into this, man?
Yeah, let's do this. What a great game. Honestly, dude, this was probably one of the most entertaining ones I've seen yet from us just because of expectations and how well they exceeded them. So, yeah, let's go for this.
Yeah, for sure. All right. The Los Angeles Football Club defeated the Houston Dynamo 3-1 on Friday evening at BBVA Stadium. With the win, the Black and Gold remain in first place in the Supporters Shield standings with a 14-2-4. I was actually dropping our record there. 14-2-4 record. That's 46 points for those of you that are keeping track. One game away, 1.5 games away from 50 points. I think the magic number is still going to be 60, at the end of the day. But going into the match, our boys had to switch things up with less than 48 hours to play. We utilized, our standard 4-3-3 with the following lineup, right? You wanna give them that lineup, Joseph? Actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we had in goal the return of Tyler Miller. On the right we had Beta. Middle we had Blackman and Yakovic, and El Monir out on the left. Midfield was K, Peter Lee Vassell back from Gold Cup duty, and Mark Anthony K. Up front, we had Josh Perez, Dio, and none other than Fito.
What a
pretty good lineup.
Yeah.
Under the circumstances. Yep.
I was going to say it's an interesting lineup for sure. We knew that was going to happen again with the changes and all of that. Peter Lee Vassell, not very impressive. He did come out actually pretty quickly, substituted there. I would say pretty quickly, but at halftime, we rarely are known for doing substitutions at halftime. Typically, the lineup stays the same. Not in this situation. Peter Lee Vassell was switched out. Latif Blessing came in. What a difference Latif Blessing makes anytime that he is on that field, man. But beautiful, beautiful stuff there from us. So despite an early goal from the home team in the third minute, that's right, the third minute, Romel Kyoto, assisted by Thomas Martinez, comes in. Third minute, basically takes advantage. And I think it's something that has kind of plagued us this season a little bit, is getting goals scored on us really early in the game. However, we have recovered really well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always that. So you got to be positive, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the boys never give up. And honestly, the guys with the most spark have been our reserves, to be honest. In these situations that, they're fighting for these jobs. And in this case, once again, the hunger was there. They caught us early. It was very unfortunate. It was a deflection off of Beta, and Miller I could not react to the deflection, and it went right over his shoulder. He did kind of a weird arm swing out to try to get it, but just was beat on the play outright. Um, Again, I don't think they expected that situation. I don't think that in most cases that ball even gets through. It's just a very unfortunate bounce, unlucky play, and they couldn't cope with the adversity of that play. Other than that, though, we were pretty much in it, except for one other incident with a break that they had where Tyler Miller came flying out and pretty much missed it. Um, and it looked like a sure goal for Houston until Mohamed El Munir came out of nowhere with a line off the line save at an impossible angle to keep us in this match. If he doesn't make that play, I'm not sure the game turns out the way it does, even close to it. We might have been a loss for the day, but El Munir's save pretty much put us in the right spot.
Yeah, absolutely. It was quite a block. If you guys didn't see that, I don't. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You have to go and see this. Look it up because it's beautiful. Literally last minute, and like you said, it could have been a game changer if he didn't actually go in to save that. So really, really important that we got that. And with that being said, of course, the Black and Gold would go on to hand the Dynamo their first home league loss in 2019. Huge for us, man. They are a home team. They have that fortress, right, that we have as well there at BBVA.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, of course, LAFC forward Adama Diomande, number 99, scored his first brace of the season. 45th minute +2, a good way to go into the second half there with a 1-1 scoreline rather than 1-0. Really glad that happened when it did. And then in the 49th minute, go figure, both goals set up by Lee Win, and then forward Diego Rossi subbed on for Fito Celaya. I for sure thought we were not going to see Diego Rossi. I wanted him to rest a little bit more. However, he did come in again. 55th minute. Fito looked tired out there, man. After when he was subbed out. So it was good that we got him out. He scored, of course. Diego Rossi scored the third and final goal for LAFC in the 88th minute. What a goal! And FCFC Pod, our buddies over there, tweeted that Diego says he likes his chips with dip, which I thought was very accurate, on point, and just a beautiful thing, man.
Definite chip, definite dip. They hit that right on all accounts. I actually enjoyed the reaction of their defenders and said defender that was beaten. Do you remember? Did you see who got posterized on that play?
Who?
AJ De La Garza.
That's right.
Yes. So that's fun because you know how he is. So, bend the knee, AJ. We all watched it happen. And then their center back collapsing as if he got shot from distance. It was pretty interesting to see that goal, the way it fell. Like, it was total desperation on their side when that thing, and that fell. They weren't expecting it, and it was a thing of absolute beauty. You can't hit them any better than that. So, kudos to Rossi. That was outstanding finish.
He has such great ball control. It's amazing. And I think that's another one of the reasons why it gets kind of frustrating at times when he can't finish goals when he's right in the front, because we know he has that control over the ball. I mean, you've seen it now. It's it was on display for sure, and that goal was just he looked up once, he knew exactly how to hit it, where to put it, just lobbed it over the goalkeeper. There's not very many people that can do that sort of a thing. So it was beautiful. All right. So moving on to
not on a run like that. Yeah.
You want to go into some stats maybe?
So about Fito, yeah, he did. I'll jump in. Yeah, let me jump in on the stats here. So we actually, again, have a 14-4-2 record, plus 36 goal differential. That's 46 points on the season and an 11-point lead going into the rivalry week. 51% on possession. That's right, guys. Our basically backup kind of lineup here actually had a majority of possession. 14-13 on shots. In addition, we had 8 shots on goal while they only had 5. So that means 8 of 14 made it to net, which is better than what we're usually doing. Also, we blocked 4 shots. Impressive there. Our passing, we had an 83-80 passing percentage advantage, so that was good. In terms of passing, Probably the most even I've seen yet in terms of a passing game was 472 to 434 in passing. Still great production. Made for a very entertaining match for both sides. Both sides got chances. Both sides got shots on goal. Just an all-around entertaining match for what we had out there. For Tyler Miller's return back into the net, he ended up having 4 saves on the day. So for him, yes, there were some really interesting plays that occurred. That cannot happen again, to be honest. But they did. And so basically, yeah, he kind of got away with something there, but hey, we got the win and he did get 4 saves on the day. In addition to that, there's some other things we need to talk about. One is Dio clearly could be man of the match as far as I'm concerned, scoring at opportune times. That first goal and the timing of that first goal was absolutely critical for us making the comeback. It had to happen at that point. You can't go any farther. It'll get too tight. So it was perfect when he did it. And that second goal, what a beautiful header he scored. A nice looping header to the backside. It looked good. Definitely he was on point. Of course, Rossi's chip is a thing of beauty. I'm sure we'll see that as one of the goals of the week this week. Another standout player, of course, is Mark Anthony Kaye. 85% passing on the day, 70 key passes. 2 key passes. So those are for setup for either goal or shot on goal. Standout player also to me, and he keeps doing this every time he plays, has got to be Tristan Blackman. Right now for this match he had an 87% pass rate, which that's pretty big for him. 62 total passes coming out of the back, 5 clearances, and 3 duels won. Yeah, again, a standout performance for him playing in the middle. He's proven now that he's a utility defender. He can play on the out, he can play in the middle. Doesn't matter who's pairing with him, he can get the job done. So we're turning out to have one heck of a draft pick here. It's turning out really well for us. So kudos to him. He's earned the respect. He's earned the accolades. And finally, wanted to bring up El Munir. El Munir's game this week, again, really, really strong. He keeps doing this. He had 3 clearances on the day. We all know the big clearance. 6 tackles won, and he actually won 11 duels, which is basically one-on-ones. So for him, he was very busy on the day from his angle, from his side of the field. But of course, had that one key play of the game that really turned it around for us. So in terms of the stats, in terms of player performances, yeah, it was good on the day for those who were in the match. They stepped up. The only one that struggled, again, Miller a bit and Peter Lee Vassell. But those that came in when they needed to come in, again, stepped up. So we're in a good spot. They got us a win that honestly most people were not expecting. And momentum, much needed momentum now that we get a week of rest.
Absolutely. And one of the things, too, that I wanted to mention, is, as you were saying, Tyler Miller didn't have the best showing. Of course, making his way back after being with the national team, kind of just practicing basically with the men's national team. There was a poll going around. I didn't do it. Somebody else did, where they were asking who you would go with as a supporter, as a fan. If you were the coach, would you put Tyler Miller in against Galaxy, or do you go with Cisniega? Joseph, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, man. So, again, I'm in 2 worlds on this. And one is the respect side of things and the way that coach speaks. And the other is just coming from the heart. And I'll tell you from the heart, Cisniega. Shot stopping is superior as far as I'm concerned. And there's going to be some wicked ones coming in this match. It is what it is. It's a rivalry match. But Miller, after last year's defeat against these guys, he wants revenge. And also, do you take a guy out from the starting job because he served for his national team? Yes, he didn't play, but do you take people out who serve for their national teams? It's kind of a rough play. Again, for me, I'd prefer Cisniega, but in terms of cohesion for the club, for the team, for the locker room, Miller might be the better option.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. It's tough because I like Miller, but as you were saying, it's one of those things, like how do you trust somebody after that game that he just had against Houston? 1, 2, you're saying he's gonna want a revenge. He looked kind of scared when he played against Galaxy last time, he looked worried, especially facing Zlatan. And if you saw
Well,
We Are LAFC on ESPN, right? The ESPN special, he was devastated by that. Do you
yeah.
think he's gonna come out thinking
hmm
revenge, or is he gonna come out worried and scared about this? Like, I don't know about
With fear.
with fear.
I
Yeah.
would hope not.
Well, I mean, we would all hope
That's the
not.
thing is we don't know. That's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, he wants his revenge. He's got to want revenge. Let's be honest. The goal that Zlatan scored against him in the first match, it was on him. He's out of position. He didn't read it properly. He didn't fall back. Yes, the goal was amazing in terms of placement, but the shot doesn't even happen if he's in position. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
he wants that back. That's the one you want back. So it's really hard to see what they're going to do. Again, I prefer always going with the hot hand. That's me. This is sport. These all guys all get paid the bills. They're getting their paychecks. They're there to do a job. They do the job. That simple. And that the guy who's doing the better job should be the guy in the role. That simple.
Yeah. Yeah, I would take that. So a couple of things in substitutions we had, as we mentioned earlier, Latif Blessing came in for Peter Lee Vassell. We had Diego Rossi come in for Rodolfo Zelaya. And we had Eddie Segura come in for Josh Perez. Perez is another one of those players where I don't see him as much more than just a depth player, which is fine. But there's some work to do there for sure. I'm not sure how you saw his performance, but I just don't. He's not impressive, and he's had so many opportunities that he hasn't completed that it's also frustrating sometimes to watch him. Right, and it's a bummer because I want to believe that he's really, really good, but I just, as of right now, I'm not really seeing that very much. All right, well, I think that's pretty much it as far as this match goes. There's a couple of post game interviews that we can watch if you want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You want to jump into those now?
Big win, Dio, coming off of Wednesday's game. How'd you guys adjust? How'd you get it done out here in Houston?
No, we had the game 2 days ago, and very difficult to play here in this weather, and it's very hot, and people was rating enough before the start that maybe we didn't have a squad to play, and we did a great job for the people who haven't really played so much, and I think it was a really good win for us.
You guys have been the class of the league. That's not a statement that you earn easily. But where does the man? Where does just the quality of LAFC come from?
Of course, we always know what to do in trainings, and we have a good coaching staff that we know our playing style, and you see today, especially we haven't played so much together. We have Fido on top, and I'm playing on the left, and we have a lot of rotation in this team, and you see how good we are, and we're coming up from 1-0, and we're coming back and winning 3-1, and of course with Carlos on the bench, and we have Diego on the bench, and still we managed to do a good job, and especially here in Houston, it's a very difficult game. Especially we had we had the game 2 days ago, and it just feels great to have the 3 points here, and I'm very honored.
2 goals for you tonight. What does that do for your confidence?
Huh?
2 goals tonight. What does that do for your confidence?
It's always a confidence for a striker to score goals, and I started to come back in form, and been out for a while with injury, and started building my confidence back now, and my first 90 minutes for a long time now, and just started to get in the groove back and be a better player that I'm used to.
All right, so there you go. There you have it. That's the words from Diamande after the game. Yeah, for sure. You can see the confidence building up and growing in him. And then he also mentioned about our depth. We had a tough, he said, 2 games, 48 hours. So it's good to get some fresh legs and some new faces in there as well. So that was a good comments from Dio. He seems to still be a little, like he's still kind of recovering, but I would hope that 2 goals, a brace would give him some confidence going forth. Do you see him starting ahead of Ramirez in the coming games? What do you think?
I think I'm gonna go to church and light a candle, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, I hope he starts. He showed that he could play this full match. He showed match fitness here that he hasn't had all year. And he finally looks like he's healthy again. I mean, it looks like he's finally turned the corner here. So why not get him out there? Why not make it happen? Take these guys out early. That's the key. Bring him in. Make it happen.
Yeah.
We know he can score. He can score from different angles. Ramirez, not so much. So go for it. Let's make it happen.
Awesome. So the next one, I think I figured out the movie thing. So this is a learning process, man, as we're doing this and recording this new equipment and stuff. But this is the words from Tyler Miller. So let's check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler, big 3 points on the road. Talk us through that game.
I think you saw early on what happens when you play two games in the span of 48 hours. We came out, we were a little rusty, a little slow. But I felt like overall the guys, they found a second gear as the game grew, and being able to get goals at critical moments, the end of the first half, the beginning of the second half, and then killing the game off with Diego's goal at the end of the game were huge and really changed the momentum of the game and ultimately helped us secure a win.
You had a couple big saves out there. It's your first one back since being gone for the Gold Cup. How does that feel?
No, it was important for me to get in the game and get some early touches. There's still a little bit of rust, still getting back in the swing of things, but I felt comfortable overall, and I felt like I grew with the game as it went on.
What you guys did wasn't easy. You turn it around in less than 48 hours, and the travel involved also. What was the key for the team to be able to pull it off?
I think the key has to start with recovery. I mean, right after our Open Cup game, we began the recovery process, and we were here. We were training at 10 o'clock at night last night. I mean, that's not common, and that's not what we planned. But we have a mentality of it is what it is, and we knew we were a good team, and we knew we could grind out a win here. And I think that the guys showed it tonight. The amount of heart that we have at this club.
They say it a lot. It's a long season, and sometimes we see teams, have nights where they don't give as much as others. But LA just seems like they don't miss a beat. What is it about this club that just the demand is there from the top down?
It's just that desire that we have. I think last year we were unsatisfied with how we performed, especially in the games that were challenging, like coming to a place like Houston, where last year we had a 2-0 lead going into stoppage time, and then we tied 2-2. So I think that this year we found a new gear, a new mentality of how we're going to approach tough games, difficult games. And I think that you're seeing that on the road for us, especially how we're able to grind out wins and get those key 3 points when it matters the most.
Albert Feliz is one of the top players in MLS. To study him and shut him down, and again, in 48 hours, how did you guys pull it off?
I mean, at least it's had a great season here with Houston. We knew that he was going to be a threat, but I have to commend my defense. I think that early on in the first half, they were able to get behind us a few too many times, and I think that as the game grew, they really figured it out and they really shut him down well.
I'm telling you, dude, it's one of those things, man. We're gonna eventually get this figured out.
Oh yeah, in time. By episode 100, we'll be flawless. We just know it.
All in due time.
No pressure, Jerry. No pressure.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I know. It is what it is, man. All right, there we go. All right, we have, I think, one more. This one's gonna be from our gaffer, Mr. Coach Bob Riley. Mr. Coach Bob Riley. That's what we're gonna call him. He doesn't like to be called Coach. He doesn't like to be called Mr. What was it? Yeah, Bob. Just Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Bradley. Nope. He said nope. All right. Let's see.
Nope.
If I can make this work, we'll make it happen. Here we go.
Yes.
Excellent team win. Nervous start. A lot of guys get a chance to play tonight that don't normally play, and you could see the nerves. Give up the early goal. Need a save or two from Tyler and an incredible play from Mohamed Munir to keep it just at 1. But little by little in the first half, we started to play a little of the kind of football that we can play even when our best went. Change that. that we've been playing all year. And then the second half was a real strong push. Once we got the lead, thought we handled it well. I thought Dejan Jakovic and Tristan Blackman had really good games in the center of the defense. Big game for Dio to score some goals. So, again, just as a team effort. And then look, for Mark Anthony Kay and Steve Bettershort to play 90 minutes here tonight after playing the Open Cup match less than 48 hours before, that's incredible. So all credit to the guys and the mentality that they brought to this game.
You say after this, going into the first half, after the first half, what did you say at the half, at the end of the half?
No, a little bit what I've just said to you. We had to have the confidence to play, to pass, to step up and do the things that we've been doing all year. It's easy in a way because we scored a goal right before half, so I can use that as a positive sign of what's going to come in the second half. So, we talked a little bit about, of course, they're dangerous attackers, but it was just a much better second half. And again, as I said, when we got the lead, I really thought we handled that part well.
You seem like you controlled the possession also.
Yep. No, I felt good about that. Again, the guys in the midfield. Peter Levassel starts. He's a young player. I think it's his second start. And, it's not easy sometimes. He was away with Jamaica during the Gold Cup, and so when he comes back to return and get back into the rhythm of things. So we felt that bringing Latif on at halftime could give us just that little bit of sharpness in the midfield that maybe we didn't have in the first half. Peter's going to be a good player, and these are days he'll learn from. But then in the second half, between Mark and Lee and Latif, I thought that was really important.
Coach, just 2 years in, you guys are the model franchise of the MLS. What has been the key to the success for LAFC just 2 years in?
From the beginning, when the club was announced, there were people inside the organization who did an amazing job of connecting into the community and creating momentum and creating a positive kind of energy about what the stadium was going to be and what kind of football was going to be in there. So the credit goes to the people who got the ball rolling. And then we've been able to build a team that loves playing the way we do, that is excited to step on the field and try to create chances, try to play forward, play the kind of football that those incredible supporters can appreciate. And so the connection that we have with the city and the supporters is special, and then we are proud of what we try to do every time we step on the field.
Yeah, I think it goes without saying that he gets it. Bob Bradley gets it, especially with the whole community thing. And I think he's
gotten it from day one.
Yeah, for sure.
Day one, from day one.
And he's also, I think, a big reason of why it's grown to be the way it is, because he gets that, he understands that, and he's made it accessible for everybody to feel like they're a part of the club, with the players, and then with the way that he talks about what's going on with the community as well. So really, really cool stuff from him. Any other thoughts of what he was saying about the second half and the new guys?
Yeah, he mentions Blackman again, and like we said earlier, the standout match all the way for Blackman. He just keeps getting better every game. And I wanted to touch on that community as well, and engagement from Coach. I'll say Coach. He's still going to always be our coach, right? Bob Bradley has always been accessible to the fans, to the supporters. He knows it. He gets it. If you've ever watched the documentary on when he was in charge of Egypt, go see it, and you'll see also how access works for him. He is who he is. We're lucky to have him, and again, we can't find a better guy for this job in this moment. This is perfect.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say, don't. Let's make sure that we never take him for granted. You know,
Nope.
he's of one of the gems and prized possessions, for sure. So cool, man. Good stuff. Again, thank you to all of you who are sticking around through the technical difficulties. We're learning to do this. Hopefully, you guys enjoy this. We got a couple of comments about our live stream, being pretty good and people enjoying it. See, so we're trying out new cameras and all this other stuff. If you're listening and you're not actually watching this on YouTube, make sure you check it out if you want. And I'll tell you right now that we're gonna have much more stuff like this happening. So, cool, man. Awesome.
Yep.
Those are cool interviews.
Yep.
Good to hear from them. It sounds to me like Tyler Miller understands, and he gave kudos to his backline, and he gets that they're going to be a little rusty coming back and things like that. So, yeah, well, I mean, I'm excited to see what happens with Galaxy, which we'll cover in the next episode. But one thing that we wanted to talk about as well, and it's an unfortunate thing that we have to even talk about this, but obviously 3252 has amazing traveling support, and this was no different. But sadly, we do need to discuss some cowardly events that occurred after that match. Members of El Batallón, which is the Houston supporters, they attacked some LAFC fans as the
One of their groups.
one of the groups from El Batallón. So El Batallón ends up being kind of like the 3252. Is what you're saying?
Well, I mean, they're not united like we're united. They have individual groups. But El Batallón, they're more of Bada style. But they were the ones involved here. The other groups were not involved. The other groups have already stepped against that and have talked to our people. Basically they targeted fans and attacked them to steal their stuff. And even worse, it was a group of men, from what I understood, attacking women. Jeez. That is what happened. It is an assault. It is a criminal act. We hope. We will be vigilant, but they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent. Charges should be filed. I'm sorry, you attack a woman, like, of all things. Like, how low can you... And you jump them? Like, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Another level of bad. Another level of evil. Has no business in this league. Has no business anywhere in supporter culture. That's not supporter culture. That's just criminality. And no doubt, again, we're going to be vigilant. We're going to follow this. When we get more details, we'll share it with you. But for the sake of investigations, we don't want to speculate. We want to stick to the facts. But what we do know is that we had fans seriously injured at this game, and that should never happen. There's no justification for a violent theft, especially when it's just people leaving the stadium. Like, that's as bad as it gets. So it's something we need to be mindful of, right? That's one of the ugly parts of this game that shouldn't be around, but it still rears its ugly head. And in this case, I think MLS has a real problem on their hands, and they better handle it.
Yeah. So I saw some pictures of the damage done. So they basically stole a couple scarves, a jersey. I saw a picture of one of the supporters, and she had a black eye, like legit black eye. Not cool at all.
Cut above the nose as well.
Yeah, it's really sad to see. And you're gonna get some haters probably, and some people that mainly Galaxy supporters probably saying, well, this is how you guys act as well, and this is not the case. We don't condone, I should say, these actions. It's one of those things that we want to make sure that as support, especially with Galaxy game coming up, we want to make sure that we act right, we act responsibly, and we don't get involved in that sort of a thing. We never stoop down to that level, because you've seen it from those supporters as well, not just Houston. But this was just really uncalled for, and it's really unfortunate. But also kudos to those, like you said, that have stepped up from the other groups, parts of Batallon, saying that those people do not represent them, and basically saying, sorry this happened, they also are looking into it as well, trying to figure out who it is. So I've seen a couple of people comment and saying basically, I hope that these people get banned for life from ever coming to a game. And I would agree that that's the best thing for them. But we'll continue to watch it, see what happens.
Prosecuted. They need justice.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, it's that simple. And yes, you can try to pinpoint random acts that have occurred with our fans. Again, the subject, what has occurred. Again, violence is never, ever going to solve things. It only makes it worse. And what really stinks about it is it's perpetrators responsible for it. When it does occur, those who get hurt after the fact, like in retaliation, are never the ones that started the problem in the first place. It's going to be some innocent walking down a sidewalk.
Yeah.
And it's terrible. And
It's terrible.
Violence only creates more violence. It's a downward spiral that we can't afford to get involved with.
Absolutely. All right. So if you do have any information, if, I don't know if Houston fans would be listening to this, but if anybody knows anything that would be helpful in finding who these people are, obviously make sure you contact 3252 or LAFC or Houston Dynamo for that situation. And then also like Joseph said, let's not stoop down to that level. Let's be vigilant as well coming up. We'll talk a lot more about that in the next episode, where we're going to preview the upcoming game against the Galaxy. First time this year we face, obviously our crosstown rivals, and it's going to be an interesting one. So we want to definitely stay vigilant, and just want to give you a heads up. We will cover that. So as I mentioned, LAFC will face the Galaxy next Friday, July 19th, at the Dignity is what they call it. Dignity Health Sports Park. Kickoff is scheduled at 7 p.m. Why do they do this, man? Broadcast live on ESPN LA 710, KFWB 980. 7 p.m., dude. It's all right, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, what do you say we jump into some voicemails, man? Let's get into some. I think we need to get into some voice. We have a couple of kind of shorter voicemails, nothing too long today, which is good. First one is from somebody from New York City. I really don't know exactly who it is because they didn't say, but let's see what they have. Hopefully, we can make this work. Let's see.
Hey, I'm calling from New York City. So, who do you think we should start next week after this game for Carson? Tyler Miller or Pablo Cisniega?
Ooh. Thank you, sir. I don't know who this was. 347, calling from New York City. But that's a great question. We kind of touched on it a little bit, right? So, Pablo Cisniega or Tyler Miller?
That is the question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Head versus heart. It's all about head versus heart right now. What do you do? What's the right thing to do? What's the necessary thing to do? For me, we're playing Carson. No excuses, no sentimentality. You take the best you have and put it on the field and simply get the job done.
Okay. And you would trust Bob Bradley would know who his best keeper is and put him out there, right? I mean, we'll see. All right.
Yeah, it's ultimately Bob's decision. We'll see what happens.
All right. Next one comes from Jimmy from Burbank. This is what Jimmy had to say.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy from Burbank. I was calling to say, hey, what a boom. Second string players coming in, did a great job. Took a little shaky in the beginning, but once they got their groove, learned to play together, they did pretty good. The thing that I noticed, wanted to make mention of most though, was Elmonier in the 25th minute, clearing that ball off the line. I had a thought, I didn't know if you guys thought the same. It sure looked an awful lot like a Christian Ramirez shot from point blank. I don't know. Similarities? What do you guys think? Anyways, great game. LAFC, solid dollar, black and gold. Great job, guys. Keep up the good work. Bye.
Thanks,
No
Jimmy.
doubt that was a fine Seattle impression.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, man.
That was awesome.
That was good. That was good, Jimmy. Yeah, for
Well,
sure. Yeah, it's It's good to make comparisons, I guess. It's a bummer that it has to be like that, but yeah. El Munir. Let's talk about El Munir because that's the positive in this one. What a freaking clearance, man! And we said this time and time again in this episode, but it just has to be said again. If that didn't happen, if El Munir didn't make that clearance, it could have been a totally different game. As far as a confidence perspective, right? It could have changed the entire outcome of that game.
Well, you'd have to overcome a 2-goal deficit, and at that point, Houston can just park the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't come back. I just don't think we come back. But, that doesn't go in, and then Dio gets one in late in the first half, and all of a sudden, new game. So, that's the tale of football, right? It's little moments, and El Munir seems to be having magical ones as of late.
Yeah. All right. That's going to do it for our voicemails. We only had 2. That's good. We actually had another one, but it was Ox. And Ox said, don't play him because his kid was interrupting him in the background. So he's like, hey, don't play them.
Aww.
So we don't get any more voicemails.
That's okay. We've done whole episodes with our kids in the background. It's all good, man.
Yeah, they're usually here. All right. So something really cool that I wanted to share with everybody, if I can make this work. Let me see here. Yeah, Joseph, I'm sorry, you're not going to get to see this, but we are going to be doing a giveaway really soon, especially since our 100th episode is coming up. We had actually a great artist by the name of Bill Wood. Hey, I'm Bill Wood on Instagram. He actually sent us a couple of posters, a couple of his prints that we're going to be giving away on this podcast, and I wanted to show them to you guys. If you're listening right now, you're probably going to have to head over to YouTube to actually see these. I apologize. I'm going to just describe them to you, and you can also check out his Instagram, Hey, I'm Bill Wood, all together, no spaces anywhere. Hey, Hey, I-am, Bill, Bill, Wood, Wood. Hey, I'm Bill Wood. But this is basically a couple of the prints. Let me see here. Where's the camera? There it is. So this is, it looks like a comic book cover, and it says Los Angeles Football Club, stylized like a comic. It says the full 90 on the top. At the Bank of California Stadium versus Minnesota United FC. And this is for the September 1st game coming up, 2019. Really cool. It almost looks like it's actually Coach Bob Bradley looking like a villain. And then he has he's holding on to Minnesota players. It's really cool. Actually, Joseph, I think you can see this, right?
I can see it.
Sweet.
Yeah,
all right.
totally.
And then so we're going to give that one away. We're going to figure out a way to do this. And then we also got this one, which is of Carlos Vela, stylized in it's like Art Deco. It says LAFC versus Vancouver Whitecaps, and that is for the July 6th game that already occurred. Yeah, good stuff. As we know, this game turned out pretty good. So if you want to get this print as well, we'll have details. I just wanted to show those to you guys. So keep your eyes and ears open because we're gonna be doing those giveaways soon, hopefully. Yeah, man. So overall, yes, a sad loss to Portland recently, but we come right back at it. And as you all know, with all those changes in the lineup, not a bad turnout. 3-1 against the Houston Dynamo at home. Not bad at all.
That's like that is the first home loss they've had this year. That's pretty wild, guys. I mean, that's impressive. Very impressive. Against an A roster that was rested to play against us, and our team, and you heard in the interview, we had to train at 10 at night before the game. Are you serious?
Yeah.
That is amateur stuff from MLS to force us into a situation like that. Amateur.
Yeah.
I don't know anywhere else in the world that's legitimate as a league that would do that to their players. That is nuts. But hey, we still got the win and we still bucked the trend. And hey, if they want to stand against us, that's fine. We'll just keep doing what we do.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that's the case. All right, man. So were those your final thoughts? Should I take those as your final thoughts?
That is my final thoughts on the match. We pulled one out of the bag. We did the job. Some players, again, like Dio and Blackman, stepped up in the role, and we move on to Carson. Awesome.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. I don't have any final thoughts because I think I've kind of I I'm just gonna go ahead and say I agree with everything that Joseph said, as I usually do. As I just take whatever he says. That's why I have you on, man. That's how it happens. 'Cause you're the smart one here. I'm just
Yeah, right. That's the case.
Yeah, I can't even figure out this technology with the
Yeah.
cameras and stuff. So I mean, it is what it is. So,
Dude, we'd be doing this over the phone if it was me. So you're good. You're good.
Oh, there you go. Hey, but we'd be doing it anyways, which is what matters. All right. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying
True.
this. We are going to. That's it for episode 90. We're gonna end it here. We're gonna be doing episode 99, and then 100. Still haven't figured out what we're gonna do for episode 100. We were trying to do a special thing. I think we might still do it. It might just not be episode 100. We'll just be celebrating episode 100, maybe as an event live somewhere. We'll figure it out. We'll see how it goes. But yeah. For Mr. Joseph Sacker, my name is Jerry Jimenez, and you have been listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. Stay golden. Did you hear that?
Yeah, what was that?
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.